won't remember which verses we're up to.
8. Oh, this 5. Shruti was 5.
We did 5 yesterday, okay. Very good. This is what I like most when you listen. When you listen to the class, not listen to the mind. This is best. Okay, so I'm doing number 6 now. Jade dvaita jnane hoya chitta upadaya Krishna bhakti chiradina upaya. Such knowledge, which is solely related to the duality of this dull material world, is fit to be rejected. That's the title. It's on page 830. That's the title of the 3rd chapter. Naimitic Dharma is to be relinquished. Naimitic Dharma is all the different things that go in this world that are not connected with Krishna. You know, my body is a servant of Krishna, so I have to take care of the body, etc. But there's a limit to it. There should be balance everywhere, you know. Not that we, you know, our Raghunath Das Goswami, he had tuberculosis in Radhakund. Always he's weeping. His body is completely finished, but he's not even thinking about it. He's just taking 1 cup of buttermilk every day, bus. And he's only thinking about Krishna. He's not concerned with doctors or this or this or this or this. He's just doing seva. Because we know that when time is ready, only when the time is ready, will you leave your body. It doesn't happen before that. Or you can't prolong it for 1 more minute. Whereas transcendental knowledge of the divine duality within the spiritual world, Chit Jagat, should be accepted forever within one's heart, both as the upaya, means of attainment, and the yopaye, goal worthy of attainment. In other words, always be thinking of Krishna in different aspects. And what is the best way to think of Krishna is his leelas. If we get too focused on the philosophy, we can become like a jnani. But if the leela comes in the heart. It's like the leela my Gurudev always described, I'm sure your Gurudev has said, that the leela is the rider and the horse is the tattva. So the leela is the principle. The leela is being carried by the tattva. We use the tattva so we can enter the leela. And the leela is the most sweet. How was Krishna born, for a start? He manifested in Mathura. And then he took birth from Mother Yashoda. And then all the different demons, 3 days old, he's killing Putana. And then Shakadasura. And then Trinavrata. And then the twin Arjun trees, etc. And then Bakasura. And then Agasura. And then Kaliya. All these different. And we remember, this is called Swarasiki Mai. We have mantra upasana and Swarasiki upasana. Swarasiki is when many pastimes are coming. And mantra upasana is just when one pastime is coming. So this we have to study. And we have to train the mind to be lying before we sleep, go to sleep, and remember all the different. And as soon as you wake up, we start remembering again all the different pastimes. But if we're remembering controversies and things like this in between, it blocks all the time. The mind is very, very tricky. And we have to become more tricky to trick the mind. Trick the tricky mind.
And Maharaj, these pastimes of asuras, if someone doesn't have taste, then someone should forcefully meditate on these leelas of the asuras, because it's related to anarthas.
You can't force the heart,
because it's
and this process is only about the heart. If you do it all in the brain, some imbalance is going to come. So if you don't have any attraction for Krishna's... What was the first book, practically, that Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada... He put out the Bhagavad Gita. Next book was the Krishna book. This was this is 10th canto.
Wow.
This is the next book he put out. Because he knew that by hearing about the Leela regularly, you see, something mystical happens. When you hear about Krishna's Leela, whether you like it or not, it comes into the heart. Because all of us, we read the other day, are eternal servants of Krishna. Some know it and some don't know it. So even if you don't know it, it'll still act just like if you take an aspirin. It'll still act whether you know it's an aspirin or not. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll still act on the mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter whether you know it's an aspirin or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to if it's a real aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a fake aspirin.
Yeah.
So these leelas of Krishna are much more powerful than aspirins. They are like atom bombs
Mm-hmm.
that can come into the heart
Mm-hmm.
and completely flood the heart with thoughts of sweetness and beauty in regards to Krishna. Because realizing that I'm an eternal servant of Krishna,
Mm-hmm.
my Gurudev was saying just the other day, the devotee has to be happy. If he's not happy, he's not really a devotee. Because the nature of Krishna's pastimes are full of sweetness and bliss. So the devotee also must be feeling some bliss to bring Krishna pleasure. If someone is full of misery and always got a long face, how can they bring pleasure to anybody? They're always crying, always in pain, always
Mm-hmm.
misery. They're not going to make anybody
Mm-hmm.
joyful or satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
So how can they serve Krishna like that?
Mm-hmm.
So the devotee should automatically be enthusiastic. If he's enthusiastic by Guru's mercy, then he will constantly be looking at the... We have billions of leelas. There's one book by Narayan Bhatta Goswami. He's written a large parikrama book. It has 60,000 pastimes mentioned in it, in Vrindavan. 60,000. And my Gurudev said, that's nothing. This is nothing. Because every single step that Krishna takes is a pastime. Every step he takes, there's some... Why did the Goswamis sleep under a different tree every day? Because the tree would speak a pastime to the Goswamis' hearts. Every single tree has a different pastime. Every single tree in Braj has witnessed Krishna's pastimes in one form or another. Either his devotees or Krishna directly. So they all have a pastime to tell. So, and if we start to crowd our mind with Krishna's pastimes, then all our material experiences will just, they won't have room in the mind anymore. They'll all just be washed out by the purity of hearing Krishna Katha. So that is the object of our day. How many times can I hear the name Krishna today? In chanting, in pastime?
Maharaj, you said a very beautiful point. I just heard Shamarani Didi, when she's distributing books in the streets, she tries at most to say Krishna's names.
Yes.
And I heard that they say, I have been distributing books, but I never heard that. Amazing.
I saw someone send me a clip the other day of a Sankirtan party in America, I think it was, Gauranga. And the lead singer, he's stopping people, he said, can you say Gauranga? And then they say, and then the whole party start chanting, so happy, you know. Then they go, another person, can you say Gauranga? What? Gauranga? And everyone very, very happy, you know. And they just keep going down the street like this. It's nice.
Yeah, amazing.
You know?
I saw that, Maharaj.
I mean, Gadadhar Pandit is described as coming into the Qazi's palace and asking the Qazi to chant, to say the name of Krishna. And he came in front of the Qazi, and the Qazi knew, he thought that Gadadhar is a simple man, you know, simple devotee. And he says, what are you doing here? What are you doing in my palace? You fearlessly walked into my palace. What are you doing here? And Gadadhar is saying, I just want you to say the name Gauranga. This is what he says to the Qazi. And the Qazi is saying, I will not say the name of Gauranga. I will not. And Gadadhar becomes so happy. Because there's one utterance. There's this book I have called Garud Purana. And you should look. It's amazing. It's all the different punishments that Yamaraj will give you if you haven't said the name of Gauranga. If you've lived a sinful life, You can get hung on the thorns of a cotton tree, thrown in the Bvaitarani River. Bvaitarani River is hundreds of yojans wide, and it's filled with stool and pus and mucus, and you get thrown in there and bitten by all the creatures in there, and you don't die because your subtle body is there, but you experience all the pain and the fear and the horror. So all this happens if you don't chant Gauranga. And if you just say Gauranga one time in your life, this is why it's so powerful when you go on the street with Harinam. The most powerful.
Haribol.
Jiva Kabai Javunai, Hari Kavunai, Hari Saha, Jiva Chintya Beta Beta Mai. The Jiva is not a product of dull matter, nor is he Keval Advaita, absolutely one in all ways with Sri Hari. The Jiva is inconceivably different and non-different from Hari. So this is also very beautifully described. This is mostly in the 18th chapter of this Jaiva Dharma, this Achintya Beda Aveda Tattva. We are separated parts of Krishna, Vibhinamsa. So we have the same qualities. There are 9 qualities: Gyan Swarup, Nata Swarup, Mantri Swarup, Bhaktri Swarup, Ketra Gyan, Swaprakash. Many 9 qualities that are exactly the same in the Jiva and the same in Krishna. Krishna has all knowledge, we have some knowledge. Krishna desires, we desire. Krishna is the enjoyer, we also want to enjoy. So many similarities in these qualities. These qualities, they're all mentioned. You can just look for 1 minute, if anyone's listening, on page 346. Look on page 346. I show you this. We should get to know our way around this Jaiva Dharma. Look on page 346. Is it 346? Yes, 346. You got it?
Yeah.
Down the bottom. Oops. I got 446. Sorry. 346. Where are you going? Down the bottom of 346. Because this Falshruti verse that we've just described is about the difference and similarity between Krishna and the Jiva. If you meet a Mayavad and he says he's God, you can say yes. You have the same qualities as God. These qualities that are given. So it's saying, first one should understand the non-difference between Ishvara and the Jiva, and after that I'll explain their eternal difference. Ishvara is the embodiment of knowledge, Gyan Swarup, the knower, Nata Swarup. And the Jiva also is knowledgeable, and the Jiva is also the knower. One who considers or reflects, Manta Swarup. We consider, we think, and Krishna also thinks. And the enjoyer, Bhaktri Swarup. We enjoy, Krishna enjoys. He is self-effulgent, Swaprakash, and he also illuminates others, Paraprakash. So we have auras. If you're clairvoyant, you can see your aura. And how can you make someone else bright? If you make someone very happy, they become very bright. So Swaprakash. So we have the same qualities as Krishna, but we are tiny. We are atomic. And Krishna is vibhuchit. He is full completely. So this is the distinction. But we must know the similarities first before you acknowledge the difference. So there's 9 of these, and they're very... Ketra Gyan is another one. So they're very good to learn. So you need to take a note that it's talking this on page 346. It's very helpful to remember, because if you know, you need a pen.
Could I just... Oh my gosh, this is your book. Could I write in my phone?
Yeah, write in your phone.
Yeah, I will write. I wanted to write.
Write it.
Yeah.
Go on then. You need to bring a little notebook with you. You give him some of those yellow stickers Give him. He can take one of those with him. Give him the whole packet, and he can just take something off it. And you need a pen.
Okay.
Then you can stick it somewhere.
Okay.
It's good to have a notebook, though.
It's better you don't like phones, isn't it? I'm
Phones can break.
Okay. No, but nowadays we have online
Cloud. We think we are immortal. We think we have these things, so nothing can hurt me.
No, I'm very afraid if this cloud falls down,
And it can. It can if your phone completely cracks and you don't have the proper number to access your cloud.
It happens, Maharaj.
It's happened to me too. Okay, text 8. Deha kava jiva nai, dara boya nai, dasha boya jiva Krishna prabhu bhakta hoy. The material body should never be considered to be the jiva, and this earth is not for the jiva to exploit and enjoy. I mean, this is such a big sentence. Most people in the world, even devotees, with every breath they breathe, with every step they take, they're thinking, how will I enjoy in the next 10 minutes, in the next half hour, in the next 1 hour? Will I be having my bhoga? Will I be having this? Will I be having that? And we immersed in a consciousness of trying to find pleasure. This is the nature of the material world. Come in, sit down. Take a cushion off the chair, or you sit on the chair if you want to. Whichever you want. Happy to see you. You just have to be patient because we're halfway through. You give him a book?
Yeah, I can give you.
Achyuta, right?
My name is Achyuta. His name Kirill. No,
Name?
he hasn't.
Your name is Achyuta.
Yes. My brother Kirill.
Your brother?
Younger.
Okay. When I looked at you, I thought you looked familiar. It's because I know your face.
Yes.
Your English is okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. So listen.
Should I open one? Should I open?
Yeah, go ahead. Give them one. They're for reading, not for being on shelf.
What's the page?
We're doing the Fal Shruti, which is now on page 836, right at the back. 830. 830. 830. 830. Page 830. Look, page 830. There's what is called the Fal Shruti. Fal means fruit. And we're on the second page. And before we ever read this Jaiva Dharma, we should read, this is like a Mangalacharya. This is like a preparation to understand where we are going with this. What is the purpose of reading Jaiva Dharma? What is the meaning of Jaiva Dharma? What is the objective? Jaiva means the jiva. Dharma means what he should perform in this world. Jaiva, how, or you can call it Sanatan Dharma, how to live in the world. Understand? If you have some question, you can ask. Now, probably you have many questions, about what we're talking about, one at a time. So, yes, we've just read the material body should never be considered halfway down. The material body should never be considered to be the jiva. This body is not you. You are the soul inside the body. When your body dies, we will just throw it on a fire. Right? So the body is not priority. The soul inside the body is priority. And what is the constitution of the soul? It's consciousness. Consciousness. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. If you have consciousness, you have soul. If your consciousness goes at the time of death, the soul has gone. Right? So the symptom of the soul is consciousness. That's how we know we have a soul, because we have consciousness. A tree has a soul. A tree has consciousness. Trees are aware of the rain, of the sun. If you are smart, you can listen to the trees, but they're a little boring. They just talk about the seasons, you know. Oh, it was very cold last year. This year is hot. Now it's too wet. They're always complaining too, because they're called achadita chetana, which is the lowest stage of consciousness. 5 stages of consciousness. Tree is the lowest stage. But if you have a tree growing and the brick wall is here, how will the tree respond? The tree will go around the wall, right? Have you seen that? So a tree is growing and you put a wall, the tree will grow. Therefore the tree has consciousness. This is the symptom of the soul. So don't chop trees down. Don't kill trees. Don't kill plants unnecessarily. Certainly don't kill animals unnecessarily. And certainly don't kill other humans unnecessarily. So always this ahimsa should be appreciated by all practitioners, devotees. And this earth is not for the jiva to exploit and enjoy. We are not born just to try and use this material energy for our own pleasure. How shameful is this? This is Krishna's earth, and he's put us here as a punishment because we forgot him. At the time of our origin, we turned away from Krishna. It was our choice. We chose to turn into this world and become like God. There was the opportunity. Do you want to be like God and enjoy like me? Yes, 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 give me that. Okay, in material world. Or do you want to be your real self and serve me? He is the master. But we don't want to serve. We want to be the enjoyer. Therefore, we have to suffer. Because our nature, that is not our that is not our nature. Our nature is jivera swarup hoy krishnera nityadas. That is our constitution as a servant of Krishna, not as the enjoyer. That's not our place. When we realize this, we fall in love with Krishna. He's so beautiful. Krishna is the origin of beauty. Lavanamrita. It means he's the very source. All beauty begins from Krishna. The name Krishna means all attractive. He is so beautiful. And if we come in this direction to Krishna, we melt by his beauty. Not only his beauty, but his sound vibration, his sound of his anklets, his sound of his bracelet, the sound of his voice, the sound of his murli, his flute. All these will just shatter your material heart. They will melt it to the ground. And you will become so awake to realizing, who is this beautiful person? I'm ignoring him for so long. He's running beside me saying, here I am. Why you not see me? Oh, I want to enjoy by myself. This is just like if you take the hand. What is the function of the hand? It's to serve the body. The hand serves the body, right? You scratch, you do things, you hold things. That's its function, to serve the body. If the hand thinks, oh no, I want to do by myself, you cut the hand off, what will happen? The hand will just die, useless, of no value. But when the hand is serving the body, then the hand is fulfilled. That's its function. So when we are serving Krishna, our soul is fulfilled. That's our real function. But the screen of Maya Devi is very, very strong, giving us this illusion that you can be the enjoyer. And as soon as we try to go that route, what happens? Suffering. As soon as you go that route, all of these material desires come in the heart. The heart is not supposed to contain material desires. It's supposed to contain desires of how to please Krishna, how to serve him in Vrindavan, in my full spiritual identity. Then I'm happy. But trying just to do something here for myself, my pleasure. It can never be. You can try. We will try. We try so much, but never it will be. When you're old man, you can try. Never it will be. You cannot. You cannot enjoy materially, only spiritually, fulfilling our spiritual identity. Understand? It's hard to understand. We may understand with the brain, but can we understand with the heart? We have to shift it from the brain to the heart. That's called vigyan. This is gyan in the mind, but vigyan comes in the heart when we realize this. And then we never go that road. We never try to exploit. It's saying here, this earth is not for the jiva to exploit and enjoy. The jiva's swarup is Krishna Das, and thus he is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. Whereas Sri Krishna's swarup is Prabhu, master, and Bhakta, enjoyer. This is his position. This is Krishna. Our purpose in life is to remember our eternal relationship with Krishna. We have so many relations in this world: mother, father, brother, sister, wife, husband, children, etc. So many relations, and we make friends with those relations, right? But all those relations will die. All of them, none of them are eternal. But this relationship with Krishna, this is eternal. Doesn't that make us happy? To think, my God, I can have a relationship with this person forever. Forever and ever and ever. So this is the only science and activity worth developing. Everything else is just temporary. Coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Another body full of desires for fame, for adoration. I am the most beautiful. We are thinking like this in the body. We forget how beautiful is Krishna. These are all topics discussed in Jaiva Dharma. That's what the false Shruti means. Okay, one more verse I'll say and then we'll start reading. Jaiva Dharma nahi ache deha dharma kata nahi ache jiva gyan mayavada prata. This book, entitled Jaiva Dharma, neither discusses matters related to the dead material body, nor does it propound the Mayavad doctrine of the jiva's oneness with Brahm. So Mayavad. A Vad is someone who speaks something, who supports something. You can say you're a Facebook Vad. You're supporting Facebook. You're speaking about Facebook. So a Vad is like a person who... So a Mayavad is a person who supports the illusion. That's what a Mayavadi Dandava Prabhu. Take a cushion off the chair or sit on the chair. You can sit on the chair if you want.
I have a seat.
So this is the condition of what is a... And then there is a Brahmavad. Take a cushion. Don't be shy. For you. Okay. Welcome, welcome. What's your name, Prabhu?
Asaf.
Huh?
Asaf.
Asaf.
A-S-F.
That's an interesting name. Okay. Very good. Welcome, welcome. So we've just finished reading some glorification of Jaiva Dharma. Now we're going to read some text of Jaiva Dharma. So this glorification is called Phal Shruti. Phal means fruit, and Shruti is to hear the fruit. What is the fruit of this incredible book? And I've described before, this book is not just written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's captured. It's an eternal granta, we call it. It's always there in the ether. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he channeled this sound vibration and wrote the book. It just took him 2 months to write this book. And he did it right here.
Wow.
So it's very auspicious to hear this truth sitting here. Very powerful impression. So, what page? If you look at page 164, we're on to page 164 now. Now, we're sitting at a meeting place, a meeting where many Vaishnavas are present in Goldarum Dweep. It's been described right here in Goldarum Dweep. So different Vaishnavas have come from Mamgachi, they've come from Shingapali, they've come, and the Vaishnavas here of Goldarum Dweep, and they're sitting under one tree called Nityanandavat or Nitaivat. And many senior Vaishnavas are there. And the most senior Vaishnava is answering a question. There's one question by a younger devotee, and he asks about Vaishnava etiquette. How should devotees behave with each other? Devotees are not ordinary people. Ordinary people want something from this material world. They want some money, they want some fame, they want some material happiness, they want a nice house, all these things. That's what all conditioned souls want. They believe that they can get some pleasure here. That is a condition. But the Vaishnava, he knows that there is no pleasure here for my body. There is only death. This, or is it Jara Mrityu? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. This birth, death, old age, and disease. Correct? Everyone is subject to it. You cannot live forever here. You cannot. Doesn't matter what you do. So why not cultivate that part of ourselves which has value, which is the soul? That's the meaning of the name, Jaiva Dharma. So this devotee, this Vaishnava, he's asking the senior Vaishnava, how should I behave in the society of devotees? So it's a very powerful chapter. So we've begun this. I'll read from the top of page 165. If a person never allows Sri Krishna Nam to enter his ears, he is like an animal. An animal doesn't discriminate. You can talk all day to the dog or the cat about Krishna subject matters, and when you get up to go, the dog will chase a female dog. Just immediately like that. They cannot control their sense. They don't have the power. They don't have the intelligence to even know they should control their senses. Whereas in the human form of life, we have this amazing facility of intelligence to know how to control our habits, how to control our life, our thoughts, etc. We can even learn to control the mind. When the mind wants to run after some sense object, we can blow the whistle. No, stop. Not permitted. Come back here. Sit down, mind. Take a stick, beat the mind. The mind can't just run wherever it wants to go like an infant, like a child. Children are like animals. Sometimes you need a stick with the children. At least show them a stick. And the mind is like that sometimes. We have to show. And this stick is like I'm describing in this Garuda Purana. It's a very good stick. You should get. I'll send you. I don't even have your WhatsApp.
Yeah, I just got your number.
Yeah, so send me WhatsApp and I could... So if a person never allows Sri Krishna Nam to enter his ears, he is like an animal. In fact, he is more degraded than hogs that eat stool and other neglected substances, camels that wander in the desert of samsara eating cactus. You know what happens when I've ridden on a camel in the desert and they chew the thorny bushes all the time because it makes blood in their mouth, and they taste their own blood and they think, oh, this bush tastes very nice. And then as soon as you stop riding, they sit down and stop eating. But when you're walking, they're eating all the time. Anyway, that's a camel. Stupid creatures. Camels that wander in the desert of samsara eating cactus, and asses that carry heavy loads for others, and are always harassed by the she-ass. You see, when a male ass goes to have relation with a female ass, what does the female ass do? Female ass has very sharp hooves. It can go up mountains, mountain trails like that. You see the sharp hoof of an ass. Maybe you've seen a donkey. Very strong. They can carry a heavy load right up a mountain. And they use that heavy sharpness to hit the male. And still he comes back. That means he's an ass. He's a fool. Okay. Carry heavy loads for others and are always harassed by the sheep. However, the question raised today was not about what such unfortunate people should or should not do. It is only about those who have taken shelter of the path of bhakti should behave with others. So we're not talking about it's called anudita vivek, those whose hearts haven't risen in inquiry. Where is Krishna? There's udita vivek. Udita, we sing this song, udila arana. Udita means rising. So when the heart rises, udita vivek. Vivek means intelligence. When the intelligence of the jiva rises, then he sees the beauty of Krishna in this world. And those who don't look in that direction, they are called anudita vivek. That inquiry, that wake up, hasn't risen in the heart of those unfortunate jivas. So they have to suffer. So this chapter is not about the anudita vivek. He's already written 6, 7 chapters previously, all about this attachment to the material body. Now this chapter is for those devotees who are already devotees, and how to behave in the sangha, society of devotees. It is only about how those who have taken shelter of the path of bhakti should behave with others. Because like I was saying, on the path of bhakti, it's so distinct from the conditioned way of life. The bhakta is not trying to increase his bank balance. That's not the object of life. We need a certain amount to survive, to live, cloth, some food, some shelter, and that's it. But the materialist, he thinks that he can get happiness from these things. The Vaishnava, he knows that there's no happiness there. He's given his life to Guru and Krishna. Those who have adopted the path of bhakti may be divided into 3 categories: Kanishta, neophyte; Madhyam, intermediate; and Uttam, topmost. Kanishtas are those who have embarked upon the path of bhakti but are not yet true bhaktas. So we have come on this path, but no devotee will ever think, oh, I am a devotee. A devotee will never think like that. The highest devotee will always think, I am Gopi Bharatu Kamalayo Das Dasanu Das. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis, or of the devotees. Always he's thinking like that. He's never proud to think he's a devotee. Kanishtas are those who have embarked on this path of bhakti but are not yet true bhaktas. Their symptoms are described as follows: Archayam evachre pujam ya shradye yatayate na tad bhakteshu chaneshu sabhakta prakrita smrita. One who faithfully worships the deity form of Sri Hari but does not render service to his bhaktas and to other living beings is a prakrita bhakta, a materialistic devotee. Now this is the commentary on this. Thus it is established that Shraddha is that means faith, is the bij, that means seed. That faith is the seed, or the seed of bhakti. One's bhakti is only effective when he worships Bhagavan with faith, with Shraddha. And it is still not Shuddha Bhakti, not pure Bhakti, unless he worships the Bhaktas as well. The devotees of Krishna represent Krishna. If we're not honoring the devotees of Krishna, we're not honoring Krishna. It's like an ambassador from a country will come. If you don't honor that ambassador, then you're disrespecting that country, because that ambassador is representing the country. So the devotees of Krishna, they represent Krishna, and they represent Krishna to each other. So they should be treated in a particular way, with proper respect and honor, because Krishna loves them the most. Krishna loves all living entities, but it's like he loves all his children, but he loves his good children the best. Just like in any family, you'll be inclined to your good son, right? So it's like that. Bhakti does not develop thoroughly as long as he fails to do so. Yeah, as long as we don't respect the devotees, our own bhakti will never really grow or flourish. Because if we're not respecting the devotees, who are we respecting? The bank manager, you know, the man who owns the motor car, all the materialistic people. Those will be the people that we're going to be respecting if we're not respecting the devotees. This type of bhakta has barely entered the doorway of the practice of bhakti. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyat ma buddhi kunape tri datuke swadi kaladrishu bhauma ijyadi yat tirtha buddhi shalila na gharchij janeshu abhineshu sa eva go kara. And the translation for that is, one who considers this corpse-like body, that means dead-like body, comprised of the three elements, vata, pitta and kapha, to be his real self, who regards his wife, children and others as his very own, who considers mundane forms made of earth, stone or wood to be worshipable, and who regards mere water to be a place of pilgrimage, but who does not consider the Bhagavad Bhaktas to be more dear than his very self, to be his very own, to be worshipable, and to be places of pilgrimage. Such a person, though human, is no better than an ass among animals. In other words, if you don't respect the Vaishnavas, who are themselves places of pilgrimage. Why? Because they're always practicing devotion to Krishna. From the time they get up, as soon as they wake up, they immediately offer prayers to Guru and Guru Parampara and all the Parikas. Immediately. My Gurudev used to say, as soon as you rise from the bed, as soon as your feet first touch the ground, immediately you're offering prayer. That means from the very moment of your waking up, you're connected. You're not going to get distracted. You're connected straight away. We need to have this kind of connection. It needs to be continual. You understand what I'm saying? Is it clear?
Yes.
No problem. You understand what I'm saying? You speak good English? You do?
Very, very good.
Okay, very good. I'm happy to hear that. Because this language is quite rich, you know, it's good language. So you all, none of you are English speaking by birth, right? Where are you from?
Israel.
Huh?
Israel.
Israel. Oh my God.
Like,
Wow. Stay here. Stay here. There'll be difficulties in the world later. Just stay here with Mahaprabhu. He will give you shelter. No need to go back. The purport of these two shlokas is that one cannot even approach the threshold of bhakti without worshipping Bhagavan in the form of the deity. If one rejects the deity form and resorts to logical debate alone to deduce the truth, his heart becomes dry and he cannot ascertain the true object of worship. Yet even when one accepts the deity, it is essential to serve him in transcendental consciousness, Shuddha Chinmoy Buddhi. In this world, the jivas are Chinmoy, Vastu, conscious entities, and among all the jivas, the bhaktas of Krishna are Shuddha Chinmoy, endowed with pure consciousness. Krishna and the bhaktas are both Shuddha Chinmoy Vastu, pure conscious entities, and in order to understand them, it is essential to have sambandha gyan, which is knowledge of the interrelationship between the material world and the jivas and Krishna. The first 10 chapters of this book are only about sambandha gyan. What is the nature of our eternal relationship with Krishna? This is most important to appreciate, and I've already described it something today. We are very small, anuchit, and Krishna is vibhuchit, complete. When I realize this distinction, then I can serve him with great honor and respect initially, and then affection will come when my heart becomes melting and I realize how much Krishna loves me, what he's given me. It's very helpful in this world to feel grateful. You know this word, grateful? To feel this word. What is gratitude in Russian?
Благодарность.
Huh?
Благодарность.
Huh. To feel, what is it?
Благодарность.
Blagadari.
Благодарность.
Blagadali. This is a beautiful word, huh?
Yes.
Grateful. Grateful that Krishna has given me strength in my body, strength in my mind. He's put me in this beautiful place of Goradam. He's offered me the Hare Krishna mantra. He's given me so much. So that gratitude will make us very strong. And that will make our sambandha strong. That feeling of connection. You have to feel connected with Krishna. If we don't feel connected with Krishna, we'll feel connected to this world. Peanuts and things like that. We'll feel connected to other things. We won't feel connected just to him. We want to feel connected to Krishna. That's called Sambandha Gyan.
Ekadashi, it's mother of bhakti.
Yes, absolutely. We honor her fully. Which is knowledge of the interrelationship between the material. Mahaprabhu asked his mother to follow Ekadashi. Which is knowledge of the interrelationship between the material world, the jivas and Krishna. So there's 3 vastus that are described in the first chapter, in the first few. A vastu is something that you can't break it down into anything else. And there are 3. There is Krishna, the jiva, and Maya. These 3 are called vastus. They can't be broken down into any more elements. That's a single, it's like an element. An element, you can't break it into anything else, right? It's singular. So Krishna, the jiva, and Maya, they are complete vastus. Vastu, something that can't be changed at all. So what is the relationship between these 3? Between Krishna and the jiva and the material energy. Very powerful tattva to appreciate and understand this fully. Krishna, the jiva and Maya. 3 vastus. If you don't learn anything more from coming tonight, learn this one thing. Sambandha Gyan means knowing the relationship between these 3. Krishna, the jiva and Maya. Very wonderful. If one is to worship the deity with Sambandha Gyan, then one must worship Krishna and serve the bhaktas at the same time. So we always have the example of the Kanishta, how one devotee, the Kanishta, he's doing his puja, and a devotee comes to the door, and the devotee doesn't stop doing his puja, but he's not paying attention and not honoring the devotee at the door. This is a neophyte devotee will do that, because he doesn't understand that Krishna is in the heart of the devotee also. He's doing his puja, but the living devotee has come to the door, and he should immediately invite him in, give him a seat, give him some water, give him some prasad or something. Immediately. If you neglect that, then you on the kanishta. Ka-nishta. What does that mean? It means without nishta. Ka-nishta. No faith. Fully in Krishna's bhaktas. Krishna's devotees. So all what we've heard so far is about how to honor each other. This is the topic. If one is to worship the deity with Sambandha Gyan, then one must worship Krishna and serve the bhaktas at the same time. This type of adoration and respect For Chinmaya Tattva, the transcendental reality which is endowed with Shraddha, faith, is known as Shastriya Shraddha, faith based on Shastra, Shastriya Shraddha. We also have Paramatik Shraddha, which is transcendental faith. We have faith in the transcendental world. It's not easy, you know, to come from material consciousness, because we don't see Krishna directly, unless you are blessed with Guru's mercy. Even you look at Thakurji, you're not really seeing Thakurji, you're just thinking, oh, he looks nice today, nice cloth, this and that. You can't see the heart of Thakurji, and who is he with, etc. So, it's not so easy to make that jump. It must be with faith, and our faith begins from Shastra, hearing Jaiva Dharma. If you listen to all these 40 chapters very carefully, then that strong Paramatik Shraddha, that pure faith will come in the heart, or Shastriya Shraddha, which is saying here. Worship of the deity that lacks this unequivocal knowledge of the interrelationship between the different aspects of the transcendental reality is simply founded on Lokik Shraddha. Lokik Shraddha means worldly faith. I have faith if I throw something up, it's going to drop down again. Gravity. I have faith in all kinds of material things, like getting a motor car, I'm going to drive it. I have faith in the motor car. This is Lokik Shraddha. This is faith in material objects. That's okay, but it's not Shastriya Shraddha or Paramatik Shraddha. Such customary or traditional regard. Such customary worship of the deity is not Shuddha Bhakti, although it is the first step in approaching the entrance to Bhakti. This is the conclusion of Shastra. Those who have reached the threshold of Bhakti have been described as follows. Grihita Vishnu Dikshako Vishnu Puja Paro Nara Vaishnava Bihito Binye Itaro Shmad Avaishnava. Learned scholars have determined that a Vaishnava is one who is initiated into a Vishnu mantra in accordance with the regulations of Shastra and who is engaged in the worship of Sri Vishnu. All others are known as non-Vaishnavas. So look, I'm going to stop now. Now it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to speak every day between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock. If you come at 5 to 6, I will still stop at 6 o'clock. Okay? So only 1 hour I will speak each day. So this book is very powerful, very special. Do you have any question? We have time for a question. If anything. Not easy to understand. But if we chant Hare Krishna, especially if we live in Goradam, if we live in this holy place, mercy will come. It's the mercy that's going to help us understand. We can't understand with our little brain. But by the power of mercy, we need that kripa. We were saying yesterday, avaroha panta. This knowledge descends like an avatar. It descends. And our understanding is to connect with that descending current of knowledge. Understand? Not that by myself, aroha panta, I will climb up. Yes, I will figure it all out myself. I'm so brilliant, I'm so clever. No, you will just crash, because the tiny little mind is not capable. But the transcendental energy from Guru or Aparampara will open up the other recesses of consciousness. We only use 1/10 of our brain. So what's in the rest of the brain? It's waiting for Parampara to wake it up. And the light will go on for everyone. Yes?
So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is talking about respecting all the bhaktas.
Yes. That was the question, you see, that the devotee asked in this chapter.
How to do that?
Yes, how to do that.
Yes.
So first of all, he's saying we have to know that there are 3 types of Vaishnavas. There's Kanishta, Madhyam and Uttam. That's what he's describing.
Right, but what if there's bhaktas who are also, not also, but how to refer to bhaktas who are doing criminal activities?
They're not bhaktas.
Huh?
They're not bhaktas then, if they're doing criminal activities. Not really bhaktas. Why should a devotee become incriminated with breaking the law? A devotee needs a peaceful environment. Breaking the law is not a peaceful activity. If a devotee is saying, I'm going to go to the bank and rob it and give the money to the temple and build a temple, will that please pure Guru? Will Guru be pleased with that? That he's gone to a bank? Will Guru even touch that money? Has come from a robbery, for example. What are you saying exactly? Are you a criminal? Do you do criminal activities?
If I do, then I don't know I'm doing it.
Okay, so you don't know. But why do you ask the question?
Well, because there are bhaktas here in Mayapur everywhere, but we don't know who is who.
So this is what this chapter is about, Prabhu. This is a good question. Now I understand what you're saying. This is a very good question. This is describing who is a bhakta. And I was saying to our kids in our school, we have to understand the psychology of individuals very quickly. Every single person in existence is different. There are not two people in the world the same. Everyone has their separate adhikar. So we have to learn to appreciate with empathy the different adhikars of individuals. Where are they coming from, etc. Sometimes they're very difficult. Sometimes they're very easy. But gradually through experience we will learn how to connect with these different. Each devotee actually is like a separate planet. You know, when I used to travel a lot more, we would go every 3 days a new house, 3 days a new family, and each time it would be like another planet. You've got a different dog, a different cat, they've all got their relationships with this and that and the other, and everything is different from the last place you were at. You know, the toilet, how do you work in the shower and everything, it's all different. So it's like you're going from planet to planet to planet to planet. And it's very good training to try to understand the nature of different people. But we have to be discriminating. So what I'm understanding from your question is that if someone is perhaps of a sinful nature and you don't realize that, if you treat them very respectfully like a good devotee, that is good for you and it's good for them. No problem. And then if you find out later on that actually this was a very, you know, he was abusing children or something horrific like this, then you think, no, I don't need to speak to that person anymore. So then you make some space and some different. But if you don't know that to begin with, you give them all honor as a Vaishnava. You know? Answer your question? Little bit. The whole book is going to answer your question. Actually, the whole chapter is going to answer your question. You know, it's a good question. We must become capable of assessing someone's nature. Are they sincere or are they just duplicitous?
Maharaj, this is very difficult. I have been reading about this subject, about Kanishta, Madhyama and Uttama, and it's not easy to realize.
No. But we can, and it's by Guru's mercy and the mercy of the Mahamantra. If you're chanting sincerely, Krishna won't lead you into a place full of that. If he leads you into a place of not good devotees, you will smell it straight away. Krishna gives us this intelligence. Guru gives us this intelligence. He provides this intelligence for us. We're not smart enough ourselves. You know?
Ruchi or Sakti.
Huh?
Uttama
Bhakti?
Uttama Bhakta. He's Ruchi or Sakti.
He's Ruchi approaching the stage of Asakti. And Uttam Bhagavat is on the stage of Bhav and approaching Prem. But an Uttam, there are 3 grades in each. There's Kanishta Kanishta, Madhyam Kanishta, and Uttam Kanishta. And then there's in Madhyam, there's Kanishta Madhyam, Madhyam Madhyam, and then Uttam Madhyam. So there's 3 stages in each. So the Uttam, he is in the stage of prem. He's in the topmost degree.
Maharaj, before you were speaking about that point of Leela and Tata,
Yeah.
that your Gurudev used to give the example about the riding, and the rider and the horse.
Correct.
But which Vaishnava can really inspire the Leelas in the heart of someone? Because the Tata anyone can say, anyone can have a lot
Someone
of
who themselves is inspired by the Leelas. Someone who themselves is spending time in Vrindavan, spending time in Goradam, and is very familiar with someone who himself gets juice from the Leela, is going to describe the Leela like my Gurudev would describe every single year this Dambanda Leela. Every year. I heard 18, 19 times my Gurudev described same Leela, again and again, and each time it was different. Each time there was some new beauty and speciality he put in, because he loved the Leela so much. It was so close to his heart. And when he spoke it, it became just Naveen Krishna, it's called, ever fresh. So this is the criterion, we would say. You know, if you yourself are immersed in Srimad Bhagavatam, for example, and you, in the 10th canto, so many different Balya Leela, Poganda Leela, Kishora Leela, the different pastime ages of Krishna, and all the different ages that he goes through, and the pastimes connected, and finally that Kishora Leela with the gopis, and what are the exchanges with the gopis, and how beautiful is that final Ras Leela that he performs in, described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. If we get immersed in these by the power of the holy name, then we can share those. Okay, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. You're very kind to come all this way.
We were first your old house.
Old house, okay.
And now I understand you stay here.
Yeah.
So next
This
time
is more better association.
Yes.
Other place wasn't so much association. But every night I'm going to speak this unless some big problem happen. And big problems can happen in India. But every night from 5 to 6. But not on Sunday, because I have another evening class in America on Sunday. But every other day, if you want to come, and we'll just walk through this. I hope most of the time just to read it, but if I think I have to explain something, then I will. Okay, my Dandava pranams, Panchakalpratarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhavevaccha, Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. Vaishnavas ki jai, Goprinandi.